Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Asare saramatino sarancha sarato nyatva asarancha asarato te sarang adhigachanti samma sankappa gochara. Asare saramatino sare cha saradasino te sarang nadi gachanti micha sankappa gochara. Venerable Chief Naika Hamdulu, friends and children in the Dhamma, welcome for our Saturday regular Dhamma talk. We are continuing with the twin verses, the Dhammapada, the first category. Here, Buddha uttered these two verses regarding his chief disciples, his right-hand disciple, Venerable Maha Sariputta, and the left-hand disciple, Venerable Maha Moggallana, about their ordination and about the way they entered into the Buddha's dispensation. Prior to the rising or the birth of future Buddha, there were two villages, Brahmin villages. In India, even today, the caste system is very strong. The highest caste is considered the Brahmin. The second Kshatriya, the kings. The third merchants. And the fourth caste is workers, Shudras they call. And moreover, there are categorical differences in the Shudras according to their professions. Now, this is a Brahmin village. It is called Upatissa. The head or the chief of this village is a very rich one. His wife was called Rupasari, and she got conceived. And when she was conceived, at the same time, their neighboring village, which is called Kolita, and the wife of the chief of that village was called Muggali. She too was conceived. Both these wives, after 10 months of the lunar calendar, gave birth to 2 sons. Since they were the eldest sons of these chieftains of these two villages, they named them, these sons, after their village. So the son of the Rupasari was called Upatissa, and the son of Mugali was called Kolita. They grew up together and they completed their education so fast that they became professional in their respective areas. And they had 500 friends apiece. Sariputta had 500 friends, and they all had their own vehicles, the chariots, 500 chariots. So also the Kolita. So they were, as any young men do, roaming, wandering, enjoying their lives. In their youth, they were attending to a youth festival called Mountain Top Festival. In Pali it is called Girajja Samajja, a festival of the young men. It is an annual festival. First time they attended, both the Sariputta and both the Upatissa and Kolita were sitting together on the same couch and enjoying the festival. They laughed on the occasions to laugh. They clapped on those occasions, to laugh, and they shed tears on the occasions to weep. They were enjoying that festival. Next year, again they attended to this festival. Again they did the same thing. They enjoyed it. And when the third time they were attending to this festival, Girajja Samajja, Mountain Top Festival, they were there watching, participating. Physically they were there, but mentally they were contemplating. Is this matters? In 100 years, none of us will be here. In 100 years, all of us are food for the worms, or have become heap of ash. Is this matter? What matters is, before that happened, before we become a food for worms or become a heap of ash, find some salvation, some liberation. Find who we really are and how to get rid of this continuous recurrence of suffering. Our laughter is just to cover up, just to cover the heap of misery that we have. We laugh, but it seems that laughter is a lament. There is a great misery is covering, hiding with this laughter. These are not the things that matters. What matters is using this youth, this energy, this wisdom, this ability to find a solution for our misery. That is what matters. That is what is essential. If we give prominence to these non-essential stuff, we will miss the essential. We will miss what matters. While Sariputta was contemplating like that, Kolita asked, his friend asked him, Sariputta, Bodhisa, it seems you are not enjoying the show anymore. Then Upatissa asked Kolita, son of Moggali, it is not only me, my friend, you too seems not enjoying the show. It seems you too are far away, somewhere, lost, not enjoying the show anymore. Then the Sariputta explained to him, my friend, I was wondering, aren't we just wasting time on things which are not important, on things which are evanescent, which are temporary? The pleasures that we experience here, our enjoyment, our happiness are such a trivia and such a temporary. What are we trying to hide with that temporary pleasures? We are trying to hide our eternal misery with temporary solutions. This is not what matters, my friend. What matters is to find a solution for our eternal misery, everlasting misery. Then the Kolita said, my brother, I was also thinking the same. We must get rid of all this nonsense and find what is important, what is significant for our lives. They did not go back home. They summoned all their friends. Each had 500, so there were 1,000 friends. Asked 500 friends to go home with their chariots, with their ornaments, with their jewelries, with their wealth. Go back home and tell our parents what happened. And they got the other 500 to follow them and went looking for a master, looking for a religious, spiritual teacher. There was a wandering ascetic called Sanjaya who has visited this city. He is in the town. So they went to this Sanjaya, the ascetic, and begged him to take them as his disciples. They became the disciples of Sanjaya. Since these are very intelligent young men, this Patissa and Kolita learnt what this Sanjaya taught them very fast. And they asked him, teacher, are there any more to learn? Then the Sanjaya said, I have already taught you everything I know. This is what I know. Then they discussed that this is not the liberation. We don't feel any kind of liberation now. We are not liberated. We are still entangled. We must find somebody who can teach us the liberation. So they decided to look for someone who can teach them the path for their liberation. And they decided to go on separate ways. But as soon as if one of them found, they promised that that someone who found the path for liberation will come back and tell his friend about that path. Meanwhile, Buddha's first group of missionaries, first group of missionary monks, because after the enlightenment, Buddha was teaching Dhamma in Isipatana Migadaya. And he stayed his first rains retreat for 3 months in this Isipatana Migadaya. And he had already liberated or showed the path for liberation for 60 disciples. And after their liberation, Buddha just asked them to travel. Just travel, charata bhikkhave charikam. Just travel, monks, he said. And these monks were traveling. And one of them was Venerable Assaji, one of the foremost disciples among the 5 monks who listened to the first ever Dhamma talk by the Buddha. This Assaji Venerable Assaji was going on his alms round in the city. Alms round is the way that they collected their food those days. It is even being practiced in the modern day Buddhism. In the Buddhist countries, it is being practiced. They go with an alms bowl, that when people see this, they understand that this monk is looking for his food. So they offer him whatever they have extra. And they gathered like that, types of food given by number of people. Until they feel enough, they go on this round. And Venerable Assaji was on his arms round. As soon as this Upatissa witnessed Venerable Assaji, he felt, this is a man who is liberated. He has gone to his center. He is in the center. He is no more in the round of birth and death. He is someone who has found peace within. Not even a word was uttered, but immediately the aura of Venerable Assaji was such powerful that a seeker of truth immediately felt that this man has found the truth. This man is enlightened. Without disturbing his arms around, Upatissa was following him. Once he gathered the food, Venerable Assaji went into a quiet place and he was getting ready for his lunch. Upatissa helped him to have his lunch. After the lunch, Upatissa approached him and asked Venerable Assaji, "Brother, you are different. Your eyes are clean. Your complexion is bright. You have such a strong positive aura around you. Who is your teacher? What kind of teaching are you following? What kind of practice you are doing? Please tell me. Then Asaji said, my friend, I am a novice. I am just newly ordained. I do not know much of my teacher's teaching. I know only a little. Upatissa said, little is enough. I will understand what you teach. Just a bit is enough. Please teach me. Then Venerable Asaji just uttered a single stanza in Pali. He said, Ye Dhamma hetu pabhava te sanghetu tatagato ah te sangchayo nirodo evang vadi mahasamano. That great monk, Evang Vadi, is saying this. Ye Dhamma hetu pabhava. If any phenomena that arises due to a cause, a causally arisen phenomenon, tesang hetu, that cause of that phenomenon, tesang hetu tatagato aha. He teaches that cause. And also he teaches te sanchayo nirodo, how to eliminate that cause so that that phenomena will never arise again. This is what my teacher says, Asaji said. Now, this is the same stanza you and I know, you and I have heard. But it didn't initiate our path to the enlightenment. It didn't break the barriers to the enlightenment. It didn't give us the first stage of sainthood, which is the stream entry, Sotapanna. But it was different for Upatissa, such an intelligent man, such a genius. His IQ is so high. Immediately, as soon as he heard these words, it was enough for him. He attained to the first stage of liberation. He attained to the stream entry, the first conversion. He attained to the stream entry just by listening to this stanza. Because it was such a long time. For lifetime after lifetime, he was practicing Dhamma, learning Dhamma, meditating, and developing his wisdom on this Dhamma. And in that life, when he was just contact with few words, with simple words, when he was contacted, what the Buddha teaches, it was enough for him. It was enough for him to break those barriers, break those bondages, and attain the first stage of sainthood, which is called stream entry. Stream is the middle path entry. After his attainment, he understood a great changes has happened within me. I don't belong to the world anymore. I belong to the world beyond. And he has no interest in any other teacher anymore. He wants to find the supreme teacher, the great master who can lead him to break the other barriers and attain to the full enlightenment, to become an arahant. So he asked Venerable Asaji, where is your master now? Asaji said, my master is residing currently in Bamboo Grove, Veluwana Monastery. First ever monastery offered to Buddha, Bamboo Grove. Velu means bamboo. Bamboo Grove Monastery. Then Asaji went on his own way. Upatissa paid obeisance to him and went looking for his friend, Kolita. Now he is in such a haste to share this newly found Dhamma with his best friend, with his brother. When he found Kolita, he just repeated the same stanza to Kolita, and it was such. Kolita also transformed, opened his eye to the Dhamma. His Dhamma eye was opened. Dhamma chakkung udapadi. He also attained to the first stage of stream entry. And both of these friends went to their teacher, Sanjaya, and asked him, my teacher, we got such a great benefit out of this Dhamma taught by the enlightened Buddha called Gautama. Let's all go there. Let's all go there and become students under the Buddha. But the Sanjaya, he is saying, I have been a teacher for so long. I cannot become a disciple again. It is not becoming for me. I am already old. I have a great renown as a teacher. I cannot become a disciple again. Impossible. He was rejecting continuously. Then since he was continuously requested to go and see the Buddha, he asked this question: who are the most majority in the world, stupid or wise? Upatissa said, stupid are the majority in the world. Sanjay said, let the stupid come to me. May the wise go to the Buddha. That's how he rejected. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what a miss for Sanjaya? What a great miss. He missed the opportunity to meet an enlightened master and to gain advice for his enlightenment. He could have become enlightened. He missed such a great opportunity. He just went back to the samsara, and when he is going to meet a Buddha again, then Upatissa and Kolita, they just announced, whosoever wants to come with us, may come with us. We are going to see the Buddha. Out of those 500 friends, 250 friends followed Upatissa and Kolita. And they went to Lord Buddha. Of course, they were ordained. They got enlightened. They became arahants. After their ordination and enlightenment, Upatissa was called Sariputta, after mother, Sari's mother, and Kolita was called Moggallana, after his mother Moggali. Sariputta Moggallana, the most eminent disciples of Buddha. Sariputta was the most powerful monk in wisdom. His wisdom was second only to the Buddha. And Moggallana was the monk, most powerful monk in performing the miraculous powers, miracles. His psychic powers were such strong. Now, based on this incident, based on the incident that Sanjaya rejected the request to see the Buddha, Lord Buddha uttered these verses. He said, Asare sar matino sare cha sar dasino te sarang nadhi gacchante micha sankappa gochara. Micha sankappa gochara. Being in the pastures of wrong intentions or improper intentions, Micha sankappa. When I say Micha sankappa, those who are familiar with the Buddhist teachings, they know this is the opposite for Samma Sankappa, right intention. The right intention arises based on right view. Right intention is part of the wisdom. What are the right intention? Intention of love, which is opposite to the anger, hatred. Intention of harmlessness. Intention of renunciation. With the right view, you become harmless, you become innocent, you are full of love and compassion, and most importantly, you are capable of letting go. So what is the opposite for right intention? What is the opposite for Samma Sankappa? Which is Miccha Sankappa, improper intention or the wrong intention, which is to become angry, to become desirous, attached, which is become too harmful. Harmfulness, anger, and attachment. They are the wrong intentions, wrong thoughts, wrong concepts. Gochara. Gochara. Go is the cow. chara is where they behave. Where the cow behaves, it's the pasture. When your mind is like a pasture where the cow behaves, in this pasture, the evil thoughts of anger, jealousy, hatred, there is no love or compassion. In this pasture, you are cling to, you are attached to. So if someone's mind is with evil, improper or wrong intentions, miccha sankappa, that person, for him to be like that, for him to be full of evil, improper intentions, he is perceiving, he is observing, witnessing asare sarang. He observes the essential value in non-essential and valueless. And he also observes sarancha sarato. He observes or he witnesses, he sees non-essential in the essential. This is the reason for him to develop improper intentions, for him to be attached, for him to be without love, compassion, for him to be harmful. So if a person value those things which are not valuable, when you give value to things that are not valuable, you are just wasting your time. In the world, this is what is happening in the general sense, in the general manner. We value the stuff which are not valuable. One day, we are bound to let go of them. We are bound to give up them and go away for temporary things. Things that are temporary, going to be with us, they are useful. I don't say they are not useful. They are useful. This material wealth is useful. But we have to keep them in mind. They are not the most important, most valuable, essential for our lives. What is essential is spiritual wealth. One day, when we depart from this body would become food for the worm, or this body will become a heap of ash. Going to happen sooner or later. When it happens, what matters to us is not the people around us, the money in the bank, the properties that we have gathered, the popularity that we have gained. None of these things matters. Just imagine a dead body, lying motionless, being carried by others. What matters? Our words of praising, complimenting, talking about his achievements. None of these things matters. What matters is, if he developed certain compassion within him, love within him, if he shared what he had extra with somebody who needs, with happiness. If you shared someone, if you shared something, that may be your time, your energy, or something material, with someone who needs, who requires that assistance. If you share something with someone with happiness, with compassion, with love, such a beautiful energy that you generate within. That one will follow you. Whatever positive energy that you develop within you, based on love, compassion, ability to let go, ability to sharing, whatever energy that you generate within you, that energy will follow you. That energy will not leave behind. While rest of the world is leave behind, that energy will follow you. That's what matters. And moreover, what's most matter is if you spend some time to find who you are. If you spend some time to find who came into this physical body, which is your beginning. If you develop some awareness, mindfulness within you, that is the development you bring with. That is the development will not leave behind you. That is the development will help you to be awakened one day. Sarancha sarato nyatva. In the second verse, Buddha says, having observed the essential as essential, also asarancha sarato, having witnessed the non-essential as non-essential. Te sarang adigachanti, those who witness, those who comprehend the right as right, valuable as valuable, and non-valuable as non-valuable. They are the ones who receive, who gain what is valuable. And why? They are receiving what is valuable because samma sankappa gochara. They are in the pasture of samma sankappa, right intention. Because of the right intention, they see, they observe the right as right, the wrong as wrong. What matters as what matters, what matters not as what matters not. This is the supramundane path in our life, in the mundane world. If you have any kind of regrets, or if you are going to have any kind of regrets to your life, regret that you did what you shouldn't have done, the regret what you didn't do, what you should have done, the regret that you just wasted on the valueless. While wasting your valueless on valueless, you missed what is value, what is worth. By running after wealth, money, which is ultimately valueless without a beautiful family. Because if your family life is destroyed, running after money. All the money in the world cannot give that happy life. Have to keep in mind to always be aware, be mindful of what is valuable, what is worthwhile to run after, to seek. Then you don't have regrets in your life. This is such a beautiful stanza. This is such a educating stanza to our life. Always to be mindful. What is worth to my life? Always to be aware whether this is worth to spend my time, to go after it. Whether this is significant for my life or whether it is just a waste. Then our life will become something worthwhile. One day when we look back in our deathbed, we may have a contentment that I did not waste my life with worthwhile. What I did was a happiness for myself and for others. That contentment is rare to find, rare to gain, but it is easy to gain when we understand the worth as worthwhile to go after, worthless as worthless and must be ignored. Asare sar matino sare cha sar dansino te sarang nadi gacchanti micha sankappa gochara. Those who consider the non-essential as essential and see the essential as the unessential, they do not attain the essential, being in the pastures of improper intentions. Sarancha sarato nyatva asarancha asarato te sarang adhigachanti samma sankappa gochara. Having known the essential as the essential and the superficial as the superficial, they attain the essential who are on the pastures of proper intention. As Dhammo Sanantano. This is a Dhamma eternal. That's enough for today. Let's share these merits. Let's share these beautiful thoughts that arise in you with others, with our departed ones, with the Devas. Akasatta cha bummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu loka sasanang. Akasatta cha bummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu desanam. Akasatta cha bummatta Devanaga Mahiddika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkang Tumam Parante Idang me Nyatinang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatayo Idang me Nyatinang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatayo Idam me Nyatinang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatayo. Blessings for you. Dukkaroga bhayavera soka sabbe upaddava aneka antaraya api vinassantu cha tejasa jaya siddhi dhanang labang sotti bhagyan sukam balang siriyayu cha vanno cha bhogang buddhi cha yasava satavassa cha ayu cha jiva siddhi bhavantu te ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminate samijjatu. Sadhu